Hey, it's your girl Barbie J. Welcome to my channel. Hey there, everybody. It's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of Tyler Perry's other comedy drama, Zatima, Season 3, Episode 8, Brothers and Enemies. And he had one brother, even though his friends are supposed to be like boys and brothers to him, but all of them seem to be his enemy now. What y'all think? So before we jump into this episode, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like the channel hit the thumbs up, write a comment and join the conversation and share the video because sharing is caring. Now let me tell y'all something. I'm sorry, but the dialogue in these episodes is really working my nerves because one thing that Fatima keeps saying at this beginning is like, I don't want him to mess everything up. Mess what up? Why don't you tell Zach? I have not heard it come out of her mouth. Zach, I don't want you to go back to jail. You have a record. Maybe I missed that part. I hear them saying it amongst themselves, but the only person who said it actually to Zach about, dude, you got a record and you could end up back in jail was Mr. Tyrone. As far as I can see, at least definitely in this episode, if there was another episode that I missed it in, please put it down in the comment section and let me know. But they work in my nerves because they need to keep drilling that in Zach's head. You're going to go back to jail. You're going to end up back in jail. If you do this, you going to jail. You know, like a baby. Keep saying jail, but don't say, I was trying to help you out. I was trying to look out for you. I was trying to protect you. From what? Tell him what you're protecting him from. Going back to jail. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm getting all upset because the dialogue in here is very annoying and nobody's saying anything. So this episode starts off with them all standing out there. Well, at least Fatima, Connie, Tony, and Zach. Zach ain't trying to hear nothing from them. He has removed Fatima from his location information, and now he jumped in his car to go and find Jeremiah. Meanwhile, they're standing there saying, oh man, I'm sorry, or I tried, and all of this stuff. That's all weak and stuff. Tony is a weak friend. I'm sorry, y'all. That's the other thing I need to say. And you'll hear me say it again when I could go along with this episode. So Fatima's like, I gotta go and find Jeremiah. And they were telling her to go home and get rest. We'll find him, Connie said. So when she walked away and left because she was upset and feeling bad because she doesn't want him to ruin everything, as she keeps saying, Tony's like, we'll help you. We all gonna help you find him and da 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 da. And so he calls Nathan. Nathan says, I got Jeremiah right here. I'm bringing him to Belinda's house. Everybody's like, why he bringing her to Belinda's house? And the first thing Connie said, she gonna call Zach. And everybody's like, yeah, that's what she gonna do. Meanwhile, Belinda's complaining the whole way about having Jeremiah in her car. She stops her car 2 blocks from her house and tells Nathan he has to drag him there. She don't want people seeing him coming in. They gonna see him coming in your house anyway. Whether he get out your car or he walks him down the block into your front door. Chickie, what's wrong with you? She ain't thinking. Anywho, Belinda was being so naggy, and I loved it when Nathan put her in check and said, this was your idea. What was my idea? To tell Zach. Yes, to tell Zach not to have his brother up in my car and all this stuff. He said, well, those are the consequences for being a nosy and messy, and he wanted to say biatch. He wanted to say, but he held himself back like, She's like, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you get him out my car. And make sure you close my door. She was just really being naggy. Anyhow, Connie calls Fatima and tells her that they're taking Jeremiah to Belinda's house. Fatima's like, oh no, she gonna call Zach. Everybody said it. Everybody said it. It's so ridiculous. So Tony left and said he'll go and look for Zach. So now while Tony's looking for Zach, he gets a call from Mr. Tyrone. And he said, I see Zach coming this way. And Tony's like, oh, really? He's like, cool. I'm about a block away. So he said, okay, try to keep him there. So Mr. Tyrone was like, well, how am I do that? He said, give him some of that wisdom or something of yours. I got to tell y'all, this was the best part of the whole episode. Mr. Tyrone is a hot mess, okay? he and Zach come into place and he said, "Hey, Zach, how you doing?" You know? And Zach said, "Mr. Tyrone, you seen Jeremiah?" He go, I think I said something to you when you came in. I said hello, right?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, hi, Mr. Tyrone." He said, "Now that's better." It's like that. He was like, "First, let me get you straight here, Zach. You gonna speak when I speak to you. You know what I mean?" So Mr. Tyrone went on. He was acting like, "Yeah, I seen him," and then he be quiet. And Zach is like, "Okay, where did you see him?" "Oh, he came here." And then Mr. Tyrone is quiet, and Zach is like pulling the information out of him. And Zach get mad, is like, "Mr. Tyrone, I gotta go. I can't be dealing with this." He said, "Nah, let me talk to you. Let me holler at you." He was like, "No." He said, "I ain't got time for this." He said, "No, can you just listen to me, please?" And then he starts with "That's your brother and he has a problem." And Zach is like, "Everybody keeps saying that. Why keep saying that?" And I was like, because it's true. And if everybody's saying it, why aren't you listening to everybody? I thought they all supposed to be your friends. Listen to what they're saying. And then you're sitting there trying to tell Mr. Tyrone you're doing this because he touched your woman. Meanwhile, your woman is damn near in tears trying to get you to not do it. So who you doing it for? You doing it for yourself. And Mr. Tyrone just let him have it. I was sitting here laughing. He was like, "So you just gonna go in there and you just gonna whoop his ass? That's what you that's what you gonna do?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "What if he don't let you do that?" He said, "What you talking about? What if he turn around and whoop your ass?" He was like, I was like, Mr. Tyrone was making me laugh. And he was like, "I wish he would. I wish he would." And he's trying to tell Zach, do you really think that's you being a man? You need to approach this situation like a man. You know, if you fight him, he told him, and he falls because he got all that ish in him, you know, the drugs, and he dies, your ass is going to jail for murder. And that was the first time that Zach stopped and thought about his actions. And it made him think about, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't do this. So then he said, "I got to do what I got to do." And he's like, "Are you serious right now? Are you listening to yourself?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I can't be looking like weak out there." He said, he about to pluck him in the head. He said, "This is what it's about. You think that makes you a man, dude? What is wrong with you?" He said, "You keep talking about you doing this for your woman. All that hoochie coochie stuff that you was getting from her, you ain't gonna be getting no more. You gonna be getting it from Timmy. Timmy gonna be up in." I said, "Oh my God." He said, "When you get locked up, you ain't never gonna be able to see her again, touch her again, smell her again, and she gonna go about her business." He like, "No, that's not for Tima. That's not for Tima." He said, "I'm telling you, and the only thing down in that prison is balls and bars." Down there, balls and bars. He said, "You gonna be trying to figure out who you taking to the prison prom." And Zach left out. I was dying. I thought Mr. Tyrone was so funny. That was like the best part of the whole episode. So when Zach leaves out of the barbershop, he sees Tony. He ain't trying to hear Tony. Tony's like, "We boys for life," all this stuff. Now Tony's talking about, "I'm down with you. I want to help you find him. I'm going to help you beat him up. I'm going to help you do all this." Why are you sitting there saying that? You're not going to help him do that. Why won't the word say, "I'm doing this because I don't want you to go to jail. I don't want you to mess up your life. Everything is going good. You got a baby on the way," if they know about it or not. You know, you have another child. This is what it's all about. And none of them are using these words. Tony is a weak friend. I don't know what he think he's doing, but to appease him and go along with Zach is not the answer. You need to break it down to him in his brain and let him get it in there that we don't want you to go to jail. Even Fatima didn't say it. But here's my thing, y'all. Because after that, Zach left. Zach left and said, "Whatever, dude." He bounced, and Tony claimed he was going to follow him, but he didn't. He stood there talking to Mr. Tyrone and then later left and said he was going to follow him. But my thing is, and I don't know if any of them thought about this, and I don't know if I even said it earlier in this video, but maybe Jeremiah is going over the top, losing it with these drugs and stuff because he's trying to handle his mom's death. Maybe this really did him in and he's just overdoing it, because before he was able to walk in there and talk to Zach and be all messed up, disrespect for Tima and all the stuff he was doing, and he wasn't super high like this that I remember in the past seasons. I could be wrong. Y'all put it down in the comment section. But maybe Jeremiah is with him being with his mother all this time. Zach hasn't been there. It's just been Jeremiah and Miss Gladys. So maybe Jeremiah is really suffering. He might be really suffering from his mom's death and don't know how to handle it. And the best way he could do it is just to continue to take these drugs. Did anybody ever think about that? See, that's what I'm thinking is happening here, to be honest. So now we at Angela's house and Sean is cooking and stuff. Fatima comes and she's telling her, I need you to come with me to go to Belinda's house. She tells him what's going on. But Angela's telling Sean, you gotta go, we gotta go. He's like, damn, it's like that. Talking about he ain't nobody and da 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 da. I was like, Angela could be really rude. She better watch herself because she gonna be disrespectful to somebody. They gonna smack the crap out of her heavy self. I'm telling you right now. And they might just knock her down. And but anyway, he's like, damn, could I get my shoes and all this stuff? And she said, this is an emergency. You got to get out. So they all leave and stuff. So now we see Bryce coming out of Deja's house. I don't know why he's coming out of Deja's house. Maybe she let him go to the bathroom. He's drinking a soda. He's sitting there talking to Preston. And he said, I guess Zach is not coming. We could sign our part if we want to. And Preston looks at Bryce. And Bryce said, oh, you don't trust me. And Preston said, no offense, but I don't know you. I know Zach. And he said, oh, yeah, I know I took that stupid leap of faith. That's what Bryce is saying. And Preston letting him know. And yeah, and that's something you cannot be doing while I'm involved. He let him know. He put him in check, basically. And, Bryce got a little nervous. You could see he get a little nervous or something. Then Preston said, we also got to talk dividends. And Bryce is looking at him and he starts smiling, saying, wow, you impress me every time we talk. And Preston's like, why? Because I know business? He said, no, because you're not who you look to be. And I said, see, y'all, that's that judgmental mess that people do who think they better than somebody like Bryce. And Preston said, I get that a lot. And he said, well, how does it make you feel? And he's like, how does what make you feel? People assuming you're not too bright. I said, oh, snap, Bryce, really? You gonna go there? And he said, I don't get that. Bryce said, I'm sorry. Preston said, people just think I'm country. And he said, it feels good to be underestimated sometimes. It serves him well to make great deals. And then, so Bryce is like, yeah. So I'm glad we in business together. Now he's scared. Bryce is not the one. Bryce better watch it because Preston gonna bust him in his face. He better watch it. He thinks Zach gonna do something to him. Anyway, Bryce finally said, you want to go to the office? And Preston said, you know what? Yeah. And Bryce said, we'll call Zach from there. But poor Bryce was in pain because when he said, you want to go to the office, Preston said, yeah, hit him in the chest like that's a good idea. And he was in pain. I don't know if it's from the accident or he just a 90-pound weakling. You know what I mean? Anyway, the episode ended at Belinda's house where we have Nathan just got Jeremiah in bed and he's telling Belinda to stop complaining about everything. Get the nigga out of my house. She wanted to be involved so bad, but now she don't want to be involved. You know what I mean? So he's upstairs. She goes and calls Zach and leaves a message on his phone saying, this is Belinda. I know you're not taking my calls, but I thought you'd like to know that your brother's at my house. I live at 223 8th Avenue, whatever. And then she called somebody else and said, yo, are you still in touch with Zach? Yeah, well, let him know that his brother's at my house. And then when she hanging up, Nathan comes downstairs and said, who's that? What's that? And she's like, none of your business, And then he said, that is my business. And she's like, no, it's not. You want something to be your business. You better bring some money up in here. She's doing all of that, Then all of a sudden somebody knock at the door. And it's Angela saying, she's like, she opened the door. Yeah, biatch. And she's like, and Fatima. And Fatima, she said, oh, hi, Fatima. Fatima just walked in and ignored her and said, where is he? And so Nathan goes up there to bring Jeremiah downstairs. And while he's up there trying to get him down, Belinda's like, hey, girl, nice to see you in my house again. Angela's like, she ain't here for you. She ain't here for this, to talk to you. She here for Jeremiah. She said, well, she up in my house. She said, it ain't about you, though. She said, she'll be about me because of everything. We all up in my house. I was like, oh, Belinda, you trifling. Girl, please. So Jeremiah comes down, and this was so sad. I'll be honest, because he was so high and stuff. And Fatina's like, do you know who I am? And he's like, yeah. She's telling him to look at me, but he wasn't looking at her. And then when he looked, he said, oh, Fatima, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, And she's like, do you know Zach is looking for you? Do you know what Zach going to do when he finds you? And he said, yeah, they told me and all this stuff. But I really think he has gone overboard with the drugs because of the loss of his mother. And nobody has brought this topic up. Nobody has considered Jeremiah is going through all of this deepness because of that. I don't know. I could be wrong. Like I said, y'all put it down in the comment section, but that's my thought in my heart. You know, he saw it was her and he was sorry for what he did to her. Ain't nobody who don't know what's going on ain't sorry, you know. So anyway, um, he said he's tired. He want to go back up to sleep. And Belinda's like, he ain't staying in my house. And Fatima's like, I need him to stay here. And Angela's like, why don't you be? What's wrong with you? You know, and all this stuff, you know. So Nathan takes him back upstairs. He said, I got to go to the bathroom. She's like, take him to the guest bathroom. And so he go up there and he said he wanted to go to sleep. They get him up there in the bed. And what happens? Nathan gets a call. Tony's asking, where does Belinda live? He's like, why? He said, on 8th. Why? He said, I think Zach is heading that way. Next thing you know, they look out the window. Because Fatima's like, we got to hide him. We got to hide him. It was too late. Zach come busting through that freaking door. Where he at? Where he at? And she's like, Zach, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. She stood by the steps, told him he couldn't go up. She's not going to let him go up them steps. And he said, you think I won't move you? He said, move. He said, you think I won't move you in that condition? She said, no. And he got mad. He said, oh, because he knew he wasn't going to do it. You know, because she was telling him, you're going to have to go through me if that's the case. And then he was like, he started tearing place up, and I wasn't mad. I know he was wrong for doing it. Even Fatima was telling him to stop and don't do it. He's like, you hurt me. You hurt me. You lied to me. You lied to me. He's saying that to all of them. And so the only one who bothered to call me, because they were all asking, how did he know that Jeremiah was here? And he was like, Belinda, did you call? No, I didn't call. I didn't call. No, she called 2 people. That's the trifling self, called 2 people. Then she said it wasn't her, but then Zach said, oh, you the only one that called me and called, and everybody looked at her, Belinda. She said, I didn't want his brother up in here. I didn't want to. Yeah, but you lied and you brought trouble here. And guess what? That's why all your issues getting destroyed. And I ain't mad about it. He tearing down bookshelves, throwing chairs, tossing over tables. He's pissed. And Tony tried to talk to him. He flipped Tony over. I mean, Angela's running back and forth to get away from him. He threw Nathan up against the wall. He was trying to get Tony to break something. He said, you said you was down with this. Here, break this. She's like, my mama gave me that. My mama gave me that. It's not you. And he smashed it. Zach didn't care because Tony wouldn't do it. It was ridiculous up in there. Zach was telling everybody, shut the F up. Shut the F up. Don't say another word. If you say another word, I'm going to break this lamp. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It was ugly, y'all. And I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't feel one bit upset that Belinda's stuff was getting destroyed. Not one teensy bit. God forgive me, but I didn't care. She brought it on herself. And that's it. She's like, well, I'm going to call the police. And Fatima looked out. Well, now this biatch want to call the police, you know. Oh, man. It was terrible. And Zach ran up the stairs. Jeremiah, Jeremiah. And next thing you hear is pop, 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 pop. And you see Zach jumping down the steps like flying like Superman and hit the floor. And everybody's like, get down. And he covered up Fatima. And that's how it went off. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all thought about this episode. It was pretty exciting, this part, and a little disturbing as well. But put it down in the comment section what y'all thought. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I will see you all in the next video. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.